CinemaShogun here, and I'm sure most of you all did not hear about this because they're trying to keep it on the hush-hush. But remember that Chinese spy balloon that flew over America not too long ago? Well, the other day it was revealed that the White House knew about this spy balloon for days before they said anything. In fact, they were actively trying to cover it up. But there were too many sightings. Everyone was seeing it, taking pictures, taking videos. And then the White House was forced to come out and say something. And here's the worst part. Guess what their excuse is? They're literally on record saying that they didn't want to say anything about the spy balloon because saying something about it would do more damage to the Biden administration. The damage done to the Biden administration outweighed the risk to the public. Basically saying, hey, we didn't want to take any criticism. We didn't want to look bad. We didn't want anyone questioning us. And the risk that this spy balloon posed to the public, we are not worried about that. We're worried about people saying something bad about the president. We're worried about the poll numbers. We're worried about approval ratings. That's where we're at, folks. Supposedly our number one enemy in the world, they talk about the threat of China every single day. Yet here we have our enemy flying over our country. The White House, the Pentagon, the military, they know about it. And they try to cover it up because they don't want any heat on the president. So, people feeling some type of way about this is so frustrating. Because on one hand, you have the safety of the American people, right? And on the other hand, you have the safety of our president's reputation. And they chose this hand. They chose the least important hand. Oh, we don't want anyone saying anything negative about the president, so let's cover up this spy balloon that is obviously posing a threat to the public. They're not over here spying for no reason. Well, now things have gotten even worse, folks. We thought we were over this. We thought this story was done, right? No. It turns out that the freaking spy balloon was connected to U.S. internet providers the whole entire time. I want to go ahead and dive right into this article. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Let's figure out what's going on here. U.S. intelligence officials determined the Chinese spy balloon used a U.S. internet provider to communicate. U.S. intelligence officials have determined that the Chinese spy balloon that flew across the U.S. this year used an American internet service provider to communicate, according to two current and one former U.S. official familiar with the assessment. The balloon connected to a U.S.-based company, according to the assessment, to send and receive communications from China, primarily related to its navigation. Officials familiar with the assessment said it found that the connection allowed the balloon to send burst transmissions or high bandwidth collections of data over short periods of time. The Biden administration sought a heavily secret court order from the Federal Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to collect intelligence about it while it was over the U.S., according to multiple current and former U.S. officials. How the court ruled has not been disclosed. Such a court order would have allowed U.S. intelligence agencies to conduct electronic surveillance on the balloon as it flew over the U.S. and as it sent and received messages to and from China, the official said, including communications sent via the American Internet Service provider. I want to pause right here because this is concerning for me for multiple reasons. Obviously, we're concerned about the freaking Chinese spy balloon. It's connected to U.S. internet service providers. They're connecting to our Wi-Fi while spying on us. They're not even hiding it good, and we did nothing. But what concerns me is these little court orders they're trying to get. Because it scares me that one day they're going to use the threat of China to crack down on our rights, to start spying on us. Basically, the U.S. government will spy on us and use the excuse of, oh, we're trying to stop Chinese spies. You know what I mean? Things like that happen all the time. But let's go ahead and dive back into this article. The internet provider denied that the Chinese balloon had used its network, a determination it said was based on its own investigation and discussions it had with U.S. officials. We are not naming the provider to protect the identity of its sources. A National Security Council spokesperson referred questions to the National Intelligence Director's Office, declining to comment. Lui Pingyu, a spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington, said it was a weather balloon that accidentally drifted into American airspace. Chinese intelligence officials have covertly used commercially available service providers in various countries in the past, often as backup communication networks, according to multiple former U.S. officials. They frequently seek out encrypted networks or ones with strong security protocols so they can communicate securely, the officials said. So, I think this just adds insult to injury, a little salt on the wound, if you will. I mean, it was demoralizing, in my opinion, watching this spy balloon from China fly across the United States. And we're just sitting here watching videos. Oh, it's in this state now. Now it's flying over this city. And never have I ever felt as vulnerable as an American. You know, over here in America, we have a certain mentality that a lot of people don't have in other places of the world. Over here in America, we feel a certain level of protection, at least from foreign enemies. Don't get me wrong. I mean, things can be crazy here depending on where you live. You know, the violence, the crime. But as far as threats from foreign enemies, over here in America, I think is probably the most secure you'll feel anywhere on the world, right? And it hasn't been since 9/11 that I felt like, oh my God, we are extremely vulnerable. And not just that, I can't say for the first time, but I felt like it was one of the first demonstrations of, oh, hey, the people that are here to protect you, the people you're voting in office, they're not here to protect you and they don't have your best interest at heart. Because if they did, this balloon wouldn't have been allowed to fly across America. And the fact that China is still trying to deny it, saying, oh, it was a weather balloon that flew off course all the way from China to freaking America. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And to know now that they were using our internet providers, our Wi-Fi, they're using our internet. Something that should have been easily tracked, but no. They hacked into our internet providers, used our internet to relay information back to the Chinese government, information that we don't even know of yet. Why not? I'm sure there's an investigation into it. I'm sure they know more information than what they have let out. But look how long it took for them to admit that, hey, we knew about this for days. We knew about this for days before we said anything. And the reason we didn't say anything is because we didn't want any criticism of our president. We rather allow this thing to fly over America, collecting data, scaring the out of everyone. We rather allow that to happen as opposed to, you know, someone maybe saying mean words towards Joe Biden or people getting upset and approval ratings going down. So, while this may not be a huge news story, I hope all of you all took this news story to heart. I hope you know where our elected officials, where their interests lie. Our military, our government. They prioritize protecting the reputation of the president as opposed to protecting the American people. And I'm sorry, but no elected official's reputation is more important than the safety of the American people. But that's where we're at. At least we know where they're at with things. You know, news stories like this, I find it very important because it shows their true character, it shows their hand, it shows what they're prioritizing. And the American people, if it hasn't been clear enough over the past few years, we are the last priority. We are the last priority. Let me know your thoughts about this, though, down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, you can send a donation via Cash App. I will have my Cash App in the pinned comment. You could also donate via Super Thanks, or you can help the channel for free by liking the video, subscribing, ringing the notification bell, all of that good stuff. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.